Hello students, in the previous videos, we have seen the monohybrid and dihybrid crosses. In case of monohybrid, we have seen that one character can be crossed. Okay, for example, we have taken the pea plant and tall pea plants were crossed with short pea plant. In case of dihybrid, we can take the two traits. Now, see, this is new for you. That is tri-hybrid cross. And the meaning of tri is 3. Again, hybrid means intermixing, and intermixing of what? Traits. So, intermixing of 3 traits is called as tri-hybrid cross. Intermixing of 3 traits. Clear? Now see what 3 traits we can take. Suppose we can take height of the plant. Now what is the height? Either it can be tall or it can be short. Second, we can take color of the flower. Now we have already read that purple is the dominant and white flowers are recessive. Clear? Now take the third trait, that is position of the flower. Now what position we can take? We all know that axial position is dominant, so we can write it as A and A, and terminal is small a and small a. Clear? Now we can cross these traits. Now see children, in case of monohybrid, it was very easy to make their gametes. And in case of dihybrid also, okay, very easily. We all had prepared the gametes. 4 in this case and 4 in this case. You remember, I think so. Okay, this is crossed with this, then this will be with this, then this is with this and this is with this. Then we got 4 gametes. Same with this R with this Y, same R with this Y, this is with this and this R is with this Y. Clear? Now, this is for the monohybrid and dihybrid gametes. How we can make the gametes for trihybrid? See, we will get 8 gametes of the trihybrid. Now you take the traits. Suppose the trait is T, P, A. Clear? Or we can write it along with the gene TT, PP, AA will be crossed with TT, PP, AA. Now, how to make the gametes? Clear? We'll get 8 gametes as a result. 8 gametes. Now see how we will get the 8 gametes. This T will be crossed with this P and with this A. Clear? T, P, A. Again, the same T with same P and the next A. Okay. Once again we will get TPA. Third time, same T, I am drawing it like this, with this P and this A. Okay. Again we will get TPA. Getting my point? Again, same T with this P and this A. Again we will get TPA. In this format, now we have got 4 TPA. Once again, this T, this P, this A, this T, this P, this A, this T, this P, this A, and this T, this P, this A. So total 8 TPA, 8 gametes we will get. Okay, and same procedure with this also, small TPA multiplied by 8, and if we will cross them together, then in the checker box we'll get all together 64 offsprings. What we will get? 64 offsprings, and ratio will be 64:0 phenotype. Okay, because in case of there also in dihybrid also we have got 8:0. In the same way, 16:0. In the same way here the result will be 64:0, because this 8 times TPA will be multiplied by 8 times small TPA. Okay, like this 8 times TPA, like this 8 times. Total 64 we will get. So phenotypic ratio will be 64 and genotypic ratio will also be 64:0. And all the plants will be of this type. Capital T small t, capital P small p, and capital A small a. All the offsprings will be of this type in F1 generation. Clear? That is, the genes will be heterozygous. Okay? Tall, purple and axil. Understood? Now, in F2 generation, clear? How to make the gametes in case of F2 generation? In F1 it is very easy. We have got this with the same order. Capital means capital, small means small. So we'll get the 8 gametes of this, 8 gametes of this. But how to find out the gametes in case of result of F1 generation? Okay, result of parent generation in case of F1. Now see. Now suppose if the gametes are, or if the offsprings are capital T, small t, capital P, small p, capital A, small a is crossed with, then I have to write it here, this T, this P, this A is crossed with this and this. How to make the gametes? Now, one basic and important point to note down the gametes will be, you take this capital for ones. Okay? T, P, A. Clear? Now, take 2 dominant and 1 recessive at least. 3, I have taken all the 3 as a dominant. Now take 2 dominant. Now see, the dominant will be T, P, 1 recessive, A. Okay? One more time. You take T, P and A. Clear? One more time. T, P and A. These are the 4 gametes now. Now you take recessive 2 recessive. How to take? Capital T, small p, small a. Clear? Small t, capital P, small a. Clear? Now third time. Small t, small p, capital A. Understood? And for the last, we can take all the three as recessive. T, P, A. So this is very easy method to make the gametes. Now see how we have made. First time we have taken all the three as a dominant. Clear? Second time we'll take at least two as a dominant. Now this time TP is dominant, this time TA is dominant and PA is dominant. Clear? Now you take two recessive and one dominant. That is, here I have taken three dominant. In this I have taken two dominant. Here we can take one dominant. Capital T, capital P, capital A. And this is the last condition when we can take only and only recessive. So this is the best way, children, to prepare the gametes for trihybrid cross. Okay. Same we can prepare here also. Now 8 gametes of this side, 8 gametes of this side. They will cross and give us the result of 64. Clear? Now, in case of F2 generation, what is the phenotypic and genotypic ratio of trihybrid? Clear? Like in case of F1 generation, it was very easy. 64:0, 64:0. Every plant were tall. They all have the purple color flower and position of the flower was at the axil. Now, in case of F2 generation, the ratio is too long. Just remember, in case of monohybrid, the F2 generation ratio was 3:1 for phenotype and 1:2:1 was for genotype. Okay? And in case of dihybrid, the ratio was 9:3:1 for phenotype and 1:1:1:1, then 4, then 2:2:2 and 2 was the genotypic ratio. Now imagine how we can draw the trihybrid ratio or how to remember. For this, we have one formula, children, and the formula is very easy. That is 3:1 and here I am writing N, where N will give you the trait. Okay, that is, if it is monohybrid, we can write down N is equal to 1. If it is dihybrid, we can write down N is equal to 2. And if it is trihybrid, we can write N is equal to 3. So here the formula is this one. Same with genotype. What is the ratio of genotype in case of monohybrid? 1:2:1. Here you write down N. Now N can be 1 for monohybrid, 2 for dihybrid and 3 for trihybrid. Now using this formula, I'll draw the phenotypic and genotypic ratio. Okay. Now see what I am telling you, that there is a very simple formula. Children, you have to remember this. Okay. We have a very simple formula for the monohybrid, that is 3:1 power N, and for the genotype we have 1:2:1 for N. Now suppose I am giving you the dihybrid. You write down 2. Now what is the formula? 3:1 multiplied by 3:1 for dihybrid. Okay. Now just cross. 3 into 3. 9. 3 into 1. 3. 1 into 3. 3 and 1 into 1. 1. Is it easy? Yes, definitely. Just because of monohybrid formula, we can draw for the dihybrid. Now you cross it or you make it for trihybrid also. In case of trihybrid, what we can write? 3:1 power 3. Okay. For the dihybrid, we have already got the result. Now, this whole will be multiplied by one more time. That is with 3:1. And see the formula. 9 3s are 27. Okay. Then 3 3s are 9. 3 3s are 9. And 3 1s are 3. Clear? Now it's a turn for 1. 1, 9, then 3, then 3, then 1. Now you please count this, whether it is coming 64 or not. 3 plus 4, 1, 4 plus 3, 7, 7 plus 9, 10, 13, 14, 15. Okay, all together if you count it, you will get it as a 64. Clear? Same process. By using same process, you can go for this. This is for monohybrid. Okay. Now if I want to find out for dihybrid, what I will do? I'll cross it 2 times. Clear? See with 1. 1, this one, okay? Then 2, then 1. Now come to this. 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 4, again 2 1s are 2 with this one. 1, 2 and 1. Understood? See, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1 and 1 time 4. So, this is a valid formula. Now for the trihybrid, what to do? 1 is to 2 is to 1 with power 3. And by this way, you can find out the genotypic ratio of trihybrid cross. Clear? Now, this is all about the trihybrid cross. And one example is given to us in our book when we will study the topic of blood group. Okay. Now, children, we have completed all the laws given by the Mendel. Okay. And we have already seen that why the Mendel was called as the father of genetics. Simple, because he had taken the pea plant and he did all his experiments on the pea plant and he got 101% sure result. Now, after Mendel, more scientists came forward and they did the same experiments, whatever the Mendel had done. But, unfortunately, they did not get the same result because they have not taken the pea plant. They all had taken some different plants and some of them had done some experiments on the animals also. So, the result was not as easy and as same as the result that was given by the Mendel. And that's why a new topic arises in the chapter, that is variation in case of Mendel's law. That is, whatever Mendel had done, it was not the same for other plants and animals. Okay. So in the next unit, in the next topic, we'll take up the new topic, that is variation in case of a Mendel's law. Clear? Thank you.